Peace, Jackson. What's going on, everybody? Happy Friday. You know, happy Friday. Wonderful May 1st, 2026. Hope everybody's doing well. I'm your host, Foresight. Yo, check it out. How y'all doing? Jackson, Mississippi. Yeah. We back in the game. I told you we gonna come. We gonna come. We gonna come with this consistency or this running this morning show type situation. Yeah, and I just wanna, you know, shout out to everybody that view this video. Yeah, share. Do not forget to like and share this video out. If you can get a chance, please like and share this video out, cause the more viewers, the more everything. You know, I'm trying to get it. I'm trying to get this channel moving and grooving. You know what I'm saying? We want to do something for our our city. This is my city. This ain't no angle, no nothing. You think that, hey, look, you don't watch the show, it's over with. You know what I mean? I'm just gonna keep it a buck here. Alright, so but anyway. Well, I land my plane on that one. But anyway, yeah, I was reviewing some stuff. I saw the press conference. I finally got a chance. It came on my feed. Happened last Friday when he was talking about the Jackson Zoo. You know, man, oh man, look, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to think. It's just we just got to wait to see what happens. And I really hope that whatever they come up with, is going to benefit the resident, and I really hope that we do get some good investors and some good ideas to come in to help revitalize the zoo, and and whatever ideas that is going to be implemented. I hope that right there is I hope it be I hope it be a good one. We really need to do something with that zoo. I miss listening to that train. When going by, I'm listening to that train, and everything like that. I mean, whatever happened to that? That was for me. That was like the heart of the zoo. When you used to hear the train, as a kid, you hear the train all the time. Despite that, the freight train going by, but you still could hear that little train, choo 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 choo. So but it was, that was like, it was like, you could hear it, and so they got the zoo rolling, what I'm saying, this, that, whatever, so, and for the most part, we need to keep the politics out of it. Keep the politics out of it. I don't knock Zoo Blues. Whatever happened to it? I don't know if they still hold it or not. I don't hear anything about it. But if they do, they need to implement that. They need to bring in they need to have the talent here. We already have local talent, yes. But if we could get talent in here, that's popping, let's say popping in Memphis, and Jackson know about it. You got, artists that wants to come, that would want to come to Jackson and perform. That'd be a good platform, especially here in in the West Jackson. Believe me, West Jackson coming up. West Jackson is coming up, and I don't care what nobody say. If you don't know nothing about West Jackson, keep your mouth closed. Let us the residents deal with this. So, but yeah, I hope, good luck to the zoo, for real. Good luck to the zoo, cause I'm gonna tell you something. The zoo really needs, to be, that in the ZAP program. Big ups to the ZAP program. Shit, look here. If you are if you're listening to the sound of my voice, you really need to be getting with that ZAP program and getting getting with them, you know what I'm saying, and donating to them because they really need some. We need some funds for that zoo. We need to get some funds generated for that zoo. So big ups to that ZAP program. Big ups to Councilman Harley for, you know what I'm saying, for leading the charge on that. You know what I'm saying, and leading the charge and and getting that memorandum of understanding to the ZAP program. You know that's a that's a major move. You know, just as long as we can keep the politics out of it. As long as we can keep the politics out of it. You know, um, I'm not gonna go into the what was said. About I'm not gonna go into what was said and everything like that, but because all I want to see is the I want to see the process. I want to know what that process is because I know there's no progress without process. So that's what it is. You know, so we get a clear understanding what the process is for that zoo. Yeah, we be on ball. We be on the ball. We be on the ball. You know. Yeah. I know we all know West Jackson over there in that area has some challenges. We all know that. Yeah, but what's a challenge? We all know, but we overcome challenges. There's strength in numbers. We overcome challenges. You know, so yeah, yeah, yeah. But anyway, but yeah, I just wanted to kind of talk about that. You know what I'm saying? Kind of land my plane on that because that's I think that's a great thing that's going on, and it doesn't matter how big it is or let me say it's how small it is. It's not the size. It's not the size of the dog. It's the size of the fight in the dog. You know what I'm saying? What I'm saying is, I don't care how small the zoo is. If they come up with a strategy of some type of extravagancy, implement some type of an idea of an extravagant zoo, it'd be better than any zoo in the nation. Everybody would want to come down here and look at Jackson, Mississippi Zoo. So, anyway, I was looking at this video. I just can't remember the fellow's name. I'm sorry. I'm not good with names, but I'm gonna try to get better at that. But he was interviewing. A fellow named Clay Edwards, and he was interviewing Batman Donaldson. And they was having a discussion, debate, whatever you want to call it. But in my mind, I'm like, some people is out of touch. Some people can be out of touch with their rhetoric. And the thing is that when you don't know, you speculate. You speculate. When you're not listening and reading like you're supposed to, you read up on everything else, but you don't. But then you speculate on other things. That's not good. Clay Edwards had some, he had some point of views that Mr. Donaldson did not agree with. And the commentator didn't agree with it either. But referring to the Wood Street as the Confederate flag type situation. I'm sorry, but I have to speak on that because that just shows you how out of touch we could be sometimes in trying to prove a point. You see, Wood Street and the Wood Street may have had some issues in the past, may have, but it's not. And even if, let's just say, for example, if Wood Street still had those problems, you changing it over to another name is not going to resolve the problem. You got to resolve the people first. That's my whole thing. And in my opinion, when Wood Street came out to the city council, that showed the solidarity of that community. And if you change the vibes of the community, the name of the street will change. And it could be the same name, but the outlook of the street will change. Oh man, well, I say, well, that used to be like that. It's not like that no more. I remember when that was like crazy, but it's wonderful now. You see. So, but to compare Wood Street, the name Wood Street, to the Confederate flag and all of the people who died up under that Confederate flag because of what's in the sick minds of people that raised the flag for their own rhetoric. Come on, man, you can't compare that. I ain't seen one thing positive came out of that, one positive nation come out of that Confederate flag. One positive nation come out that Confederate flag. No, I have not seen not one. So I'm not trying to, that right there for me, it was the wrong comparison. You can't compare that to that. Because the people on Wood Street, they showed solidarity, and they showed that they have changed. If allegedly, if that stuff did go on in Wood Street, because I don't know anything about Wood Street. I used to hear things, but hearing things is, knowing things is two different things. But even though Wood Street, if Wood Street did have a reputation, their reputation is not there anymore, because I don't hear about it. So, I'm not trying, and this right here is not a one-sided thing. I just think that, Clay Edwards have his point of views, but it's not, if it's not conducive to the progress of the folks in Jackson, then, those comments and that rhetoric needs to be tucked in and put up under a rug. I'm just gonna keep it real. Because, you do still got some cats out here that ain't getting it. You got some cats out here ain't getting it. And it's like, and the thing is that right there, you can't keep perpetuating those types of viewpoints to the people, the majority, and you got 85% of the people in Jackson, is black folks, and you perpetuating this type of rhetoric. People are susceptible to be angry, and you don't know what happens when people are angry. So let's just kind of need to watch our words. Watch your words. Watch your rhetoric. when it comes to some things like that, you know, because everybody is not, you know, which I do agree in one thing that he's declared did say that, you know, in this type of space you gotta have thick skin. You gotta have thick skin. But here's the deal: we're all gonna face ridicule or constructive criticism or whatever the case may be. You know, but this is what keeps you strong. This is what makes you strong. This is what makes you better. Because if I make a mistake, please call me out on it. So I do agree with that, you know. But don't be dismissive to a point of view because it interrupts your rhetoric. It interrupts. It just throws a monkey wrench in your rhetoric, and you have to gather your thoughts. If you got to gather your thoughts and say, hey, look here, bro, I was wrong. Look here, black. Look here, bro, I stand corrected. So I had to land my plane on that one. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, we just, you know, I just want to kind of like, you know, talk about that for a minute because I was just looking at it a while ago because, you know, I was like, you know, I just tuned in. I'm like, dang, you know what I'm saying? You know, but I say, because I've never seen that show before, so I was like, well, let me just check it out, see what's happening, whatever, you know. And like for me, I was always taught never to take things on face value, never to take things on face value. You know what I'm saying? You know, it came across on me some years ago about Batman Donaldson, but I never repeated it because, like I said, I don't take none on face value. You know, cats talk about this, that, whatever. I'm like, yo, so, I'm like, so? I mean, whatever he did on the streets, that's his business. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's, you know, where I'm from, that's how it is. Every man for himself, where I'm from. What you do on the streets is your business. You get caught up, you get snatched up, caught up, hey, that's on you. You know what I'm saying? I'm not finna snitch. I ain't finna, you know, do none of that. I ain't finna tell them, you know what I'm saying, yo, unless you know, you breaking my house, I'm gonna handle that myself. Or, you know what I'm saying, or whatever, you know, assault me or something like, try to assault me or something to me, you know, I'm gonna handle that myself. But, as far as you handling your own business, man, please, that's your business. That's your business. I ain't got nothing to do with that. But, you know, a man trying to have his life straight and everything like that, keep his life clean and do his thing. Come on, man, be bringing up the past on that. You know what I'm saying? That's the past. Whatever the past was, let that stuff stay where it's at. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's just like regurgitating. It's just like eating some stuff and then regurgitating and then eating it back. Come on, man. You know, regurgitating, you just regurgitating or eating some stuff that's constantly making you sick. I mean, no sense. So, you know, but yeah, but anyway. So, yeah, but it's a good Friday, you know what I'm saying? The day, you know, it's not a, you know, everybody is, you know, I think we're going to get some more rain. Well, hey, it is what it is. I ain't tripping on that, you know what I'm saying? Because we well overdue, you know what I'm saying? It's been a little cool, but, you know, we well overdue for the rain and all of that. And I just, you know what I'm saying, but yeah, you know, today, you know, it's May 1st. So, I don't know. I ain't seen the news this morning. I hadn't heard anything about that non-council or that non-board member situation. Was it turned down or not? I don't know. I don't know what's going on. But whatever it is, they'll get it together and they'll figure it out. You know what I'm saying? I just really hope and pray that, like I always say, that whatever decisions is being made, God is in plan. You know what I'm saying? You put God first, and everything will be fine. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you gotta get in the, but you gotta get in the mix. The resident, you the residents, you gotta get in the mix of this. Because if you don't get into the mix of this, let me tell you something. The helping hand that you're looking for is right at the bottom of your elbow. And you gotta get into the mix of this. You know what I'm saying? You know, I'm glad that the city council is doing what they can do, the mayor, whatever, but the resident, you have the power to, you voted them in, you can vote them out. You don't want to do for us, but, so here's what we're going to do for you, right? Okay. You know, so, I mean, so that's the way you handle that. That's the way you handled it. That's the way you handled it. You know, so, you know, yeah. But yeah. So we just gonna, like I said, we gonna work for the week. We just gonna do this Friday thing and move forward, and Monday gonna be a better day. Look, I'm gonna be having some more stuff that I'm gonna be going into later on next week. You know, possibly I'll be talking about some events that's gonna be coming up and things like that and everything, and I'll make some announcements and things like that. You know, whatever I get, you'll get. If you don't look at the news, or you don't, if you want to hear it from this channel, then whatever I get, you'll get firsthand. It ain't gonna be nothing that happened yesterday, like they do on the news. So yeah, so be looking out for that. Be looking out for that. Yeah. But anyway, yeah. So, well, that's my morning rant. You know what I'm saying? That's my morning rant. I can't, really like actually think of anything else. Oh man, I really can't think of anything else. That's on my mind about what's going on here in the city of Jackson. I just, the only thing I can tell you, look, well, I got one thing I want to say. I really want to talk to you. I want to talk to a lot of the people out there, in the disability world. I want to talk to a lot of the people that's out there in the disability world, because there's a lot of stuff that's going on that, I've been faced with and confronted with, and I'm quite sure a lot of other people that's disabled has been faced and confronted with, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, and I'm just gonna put it out there, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna put it out there, certain jobs don't hire blind folks. Certain jobs don't hire blind folks. And I just wanted to, and if you're out there and you don't know this, keep it a buck. Goodwill don't hire blind folks. They hire all the disability people, but they don't hire blind people. They have all other disabilities except for blindness. So yeah, I want to put that out there. This is the views and opinions, once again, is of me, Foresight. These is my views for informational purposes only. No, they don't do that. They don't do that. They don't do it. I went to vote rehab here in the city of Jackson. Went out there, they didn't hire me. Stayed out there almost a year. They played with me. I ain't no time for that. You've been confronted with that type of mess. Hey, yo, drop a comment. You got a loved one, drop a comment. Yeah, because that's crazy. And see, here in the city of Jackson, that mess needs to stop. That's, you know what I'm saying? That mess needs to stop. Local businesses, things like that. You don't want to hire nobody um, that's disabled. Where is Ada on this? Where is Ada? Well, we don't know, no, because you're too busy playing politics. We just sit back and watch. Okay, you sitting back and watch. Where's your influence? Where's your point of influence? I ain't feeling that. I ain't feeling that. So you might want to call this a complaint, call this, but I'm calling it a concern. And I'm trying to raise awareness. Yeah, we're going to have some awareness things going on like this on the 601 network, because it needs to be put out there on blast. On blast. And if you are a business owner out there, or you part of, you own a, or you work, whatever, and you have some type of point of influence, you're a manager or something, I'm talking to you. I'm putting it on blast. You don't hire. You don't. And then you hire liabilities. If you want to hire liabilities, raise your standards. Raise your standards. Simple as that. Piccadilly's another one. Man, come on, man. I'm going in there just to wash dishes. I'm keeping it a buck here. They won't let you do it. Won't let you do it. They raise excuses. Off the rip. ALL, all of them. Hotels, all of them. They all of them do this. So I just want to, I want to put that on. I really want to put that out there. And I'm not finna bite my tongue, whether you like me or you don't. Whether you like it or you don't. You're not gonna. You may not like what I'm saying, but I'm telling you what's real, because I've experienced it. I've experienced it. Then they want to stick you in these shelter situations. Come on, let's keep it real. And then the shelter situations, they want to play like they God Almighty. No. Why would you want to go do that? No. So I mean, let's keep it. They need to change that. Where is Ada on this? What is Ada doing? Okay. Who is policing this stuff? Because it needs to be policed. What's up with the EEOC? Yeah. I ain't feeling that. Not feeling it. And I really hope this really, share this video out. Share this out. Because this right here is important that people need to know. And people need to know about this. Put it on your Facebook page and share it with your friends. Your friends could be out of town. I don't care where they at. Share it out. Put it on the gram. Whatever. Pinterest, whatever. Put it on whatever platform. Share this video. I'm telling you, that's what's going on here in Jackson. It needs to change. It needs to change. And until it changes, I'm gonna still be harking on this. I'm gonna still be harking and barking, because it's wrong. Everybody deserves an opportunity. I land my plane. I am your host, Foresight. Welcome to the 601 Network.